Well, good morning. Looking forward to going deeper into our conversation about conscious dying. And I wanted to make reference to a seminal book and a workshop series done by Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross back in the 1960s. Her book on death and dying came out in 1969, and she described their basically 5 stages of grief dealing with death. And those 5 stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and grief. So this was primarily working with terminal patients that she developed this support system for caregivers for those that are terminally ill. And just, again, I think a big part of that is simply allowing someone in the process of dying, if they're now conscious, if they're terminal, they're conscious of their imminent death, to support the caregivers in allowing them the space to go through these stages. So in my program of conscious dying, there's a clear choice, okay, that I would put at stage 2, where one has overcome denial and now one is angry. That's an energetic opportunity to make a choice, to move forward, instead of going into the bargaining, just like accepting the death. That there's an opportunity with conscious dying to make a choice, okay, basically eliminating the egoic defensive strategy of denial and projection, to now claim one's authority, okay, claim one's ability to make a decision that isn't necessarily what the mainstream is doing. Okay, so just take, for example, right now with the COVID situation and the vaccine, that one could easily deny the problem with the vaccines. One could easily deny the fact that the government really doesn't have your best interest in mind, or I shouldn't say maybe the government, but the machine, the big pharma and those that are kind of pushing this agenda, okay, of depopulation, that one could clearly make a choice that involves claiming one's authority to say, no, thank you. I'm going to choose an alternative route, okay? So instead of dying the way they would have you die, you can choose to die in a different way, which might involve your awakening, and you're choosing to continue a conscious living life, okay? The original problem that happened in our egoic world, where we were conditioned to believe that we didn't have power, but that others around us had power, whether it was parents and teachers, government officials, religious leaders, whatever. So abdicating the throne of our own lives, projecting that power onto others, created the dilemma that we're in today. Okay, so the solution to that dilemma, of course, is reclaiming that authority that we abdicated at an earlier time in our lives. So conscious dying is this big hand up saying, no more. And you're basically saying no more to yourself, no more abdicating the throne, no more giving my power away. By reclaiming our power, we can make choices that have to do with our true role, okay, in a new earth, which is aligning with this infinite power that would guide us, inform us, instruct us, okay? No more denying that power and projecting it elsewhere. There's no more mentors, no more healers, no more teachers, no more gurus. The time is now. In fact, it's very important to realize that a big part of projection, denial and projection, is just imagining this future, well, where, oh, well, okay, well, things will be different in the future, you know, I hope. You know, this whole seeking and not finding bullshit of the ego needs to stop. It's like, okay, the time is now to make a decision. Okay, the place is here. There's no other time, there's no other place. It's here. A new earth is this portal that says, enter here, okay, walk through these gates, and your whole relationship with time and space changes. And I've talked about that quite a bit before. So again, remembering that the trick of the ego and the conditioning that creates the ego is hide and seek, a game of hide and seek, where the treasures are hidden and your job is to seek these treasures. And then the conditioning, whether it's Madison Avenue or whatever, would say, oh, here, you do this, and you do this, and you follow this path, the career, the marriage, the children, the whatever, the new car, the vacations, there's your happiness. Well, guess what? That game of hide and seek didn't work out so well, did it? Not for most people. So the way out of that maze, that trap, is simply to say no more. Step out of the paradigm. I'm offering you a new paradigm. Okay, that's the whole choice, okay, to choose. And I'm not saying choose me as a guru, choose me as a teacher. No, what I'm saying is, no, you're the one. And I'll say that to anybody. I'll never say, oh, I have something you don't. No, not at all. My path is very simple and it's very available to everybody. There's no secret formula. There's no mysterious mantras. There's no special way to do this. It's a very simple way. It's a simple way of saying no to the lie and yes to the truth. Nothing could be simpler. I'm not saying it's easy because, again, if you're so conditioned to believing the lie, it might be a little bit of a stretch to accept the truth. But it's a big step. It's a big step in this whole cycle. You know, if you were just being marched toward your doom, you say, well, no, that's not happening. And then later you're angry. Wow, I can't believe it is happening. And then trying to bargain with the devil, and then dealing with the reality, which will be depressing, and then hopefully acceptance. And then you move through your transition, dropping your body. Life goes on. An alternative is simply to, like I've talked about before, die without hurting the body and wake up and enjoy a new earth, which is available to all of us. So, you know, there's a line from Course in Miracles that talks about your role as the light of the world, in the sense that you are the only savior for your world. Okay? The only one that's going to save the world is you, because you created the world that you're living in.